In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a personalized success blueprint that will increase your productivity, sharpen your business focus, and grow your music-based income. On top of that, I'm also going to share with you a step-by-step marketing strategy that I developed for Instagram that has tripled my income and has grown my following faster than ever before. But before I show you that, let's recap what happened in the previous video. In the previous video, I showed you what's possible with music. I talked about the countless lies that we've been told in the music industry and also showed you why we need to adapt a new mindset of what's possible. I also shared the 3 freedoms of purpose-driven music creation with you. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure you go watch that video in full as soon as you've finished watching this video. Now, I want to get right into it so you could start seeing your momentum build, which is really important when it comes to growing a music-based business. Something one of my mentors taught me years ago that really changed my life was how to design a framework or a roadmap to get what you want in life and business. Now, I learned this years ago, and since then I've refined the formula to be more effective in the music space. I call this technique reverse intuition success blueprinting because this isn't what we were taught in school, and those who are too afraid to dream might think it's crazy. We're not trying to be like those people though, so let's get to work. So I highly recommend using a pen and paper to work through this with me. But if you just have your phone and that's all you have, that's fine too. Now what I want you to do is write out in great detail what your ideal life looks like 12 months from now. Really take your time with this. Now pause the video if you have to. I want you to write down everything you envision. What does your living situation look like? What does your furniture feel like on your fingertips? What does the leather interior of your new car smell like? Now, dig deeper and tell me what you're working on in that moment with your music. What artists or producers are you working with? How big have you grown your following? How many thousands or millions of people have heard your music? I want you to write this all down in so much detail that if someone who didn't know you were to read this, they would think that they were reading a biography. Now, once you have that written down, you're already at an advantage because the vast majority of people never solidify their vision and find clarity in it. That's why most people fail. So you know exactly where you want to be, but how the hell do we get there? Now on a blank piece of paper, I want you to make 3 columns of 3 lists of 3. It's not going to take much time, don't worry about it. Now in the first column, I want you to write down 3 things that are holding you back. In the second column, I want you to write down 3 of your strengths. Don't worry if you have to pause this video and come back to it. Now in the third column, that final column, tell me 3 things that you've been told by others about your music. Now we use this to establish what obstacles need to be taken care of first, how to break through them using our unfair advantages, which are the strengths that you've listed in column number 2, and finally optimizing our self-belief system based on the 3 things you've listed when it comes to what others have to say about your music. So what was the point of that? What has it done for us? Well, we've now established a starting point and a time-sensitive destination to attack. This gives us clarity as well as a sense of urgency, which are 2 key components when starting and scaling a music career. See, there's a big difference between just thinking about it all the time and writing all this stuff down in great detail like you just did. But I don't want this video to be all about the mindset side of things, so why don't we just jump into a marketing strategy that I developed for Instagram that's going to help you get more sales faster while growing your following and boosting audience engagement more than you ever thought possible. This strategy has personally tripled my income and has grown my following on Instagram faster than ever before, faster than any other tool I've ever used, even after the dreaded algorithm change. All right, so I'm going to dive right into this, so make sure that you're taking notes. Now, this is what I call the Instagram Stories funnel because we're going to be leveraging the Instagram Stories function to funnel listeners and convert them into paying customers. This is typically a 7-post funnel, with each post having a very specific job to do, and as a team, they're incredibly effective. All right, so let's jump right into post number 1. This is designed to build hype and gain audience attention. This is what I call a warm-up post. For this, you want to post a couple hours up to, I'd say, 18 hours before post number 2, which will be then the high-quality song or instrumental snippet. Now, a post like this is used to inform your audience that you're going to be releasing something to build that micro hype. For this post, we'll be using a behind-the-scenes video, which work very well with a short audio preview. Now, this doesn't have to be a video, but it's much more effective that way. And also keep in mind that enthusiasm and excitement work wonders in building hype when it comes to a post like this. Now, to trigger audience engagement and to build energy, we want to use 2 polls as overlays on this Instagram Stories post. Crazy enough, studies show that the engagement goes up by over 23% when using 2 polls rather than just 1, and in my experience, that's definitely true. I can't really explain why, I just figure that there's more things to fidget around on the screen, therefore 2 is better than 1 in this case. I typically use a very simple question and then add a slider for good measure. Now, with that being said, that is all you need for post number 1. Now, I'm going to take a second and show you an example of what I would post as my post number 1.
Hey, I got a puppy named Daisy. Now haters are calling me crazy. When I took her for a walk, she stopped walking cause she got lazy. She cuter than most other dogs, and she ain't afraid to show it. When it comes to being told she cute, it don't face her, she already know it. She Daisy.
Now, keep in mind, this is only an example. I want you to be creative with this. I want this to feel like you. You don't have to copy me. Just use what I'm showing you as a guideline. And at the end of this training, I will show you my entire funnel with all the posts in sequence so you can really get a picture of how this operates, how this works. So with that being said, let's get to post number 2. So post number 2 will be us releasing the song or instrumental. This needs to be a high quality content post, guys. So really pay attention to detail here and do not be lazy. Make sure it's a song or instrumental preview of 30 to 60 seconds. It can be longer if you so choose, or if you have a sick hook that you want to get to, and maybe that's a minute 30 in, but it needs to be in multiple posts. You can use an app called Cut Story to split up the video into 15-second clips for Instagram stories, since that's the time limit that we have to work with. I suggest doing it that way. It's super easy. It's in the Apple App Store. I'm not sure if Cut Story is available for Android, but if it is, it's a great app. I highly recommend it. Now, you can do this manually through a video editor and just cut the long clip into 15-second clips, but doing it from your phone is much easier. Now, we want to try to use either a high-quality image using the dimensions of 1080 by 1920 pixels, that is, or a video audio visualizer. Those work very well. Don't be afraid to be creative with this, guys. These are only suggestions for how to deliver the content. I'm just giving you the roadmap of what the posts need to have. Now, you could do this in a few different ways. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a video. It can just be a still image with the audio playing behind it. It can be a recording directly from your phone, playing the song, from your phone, from Spotify, from whatever, and just use that as the post. But I really want you guys to keep in mind that this should be eye-catching. This should be something that people stop on, because if it's boring, you're not going to have your audience's attention. Now, again, we're going to use a poll question overlay for this, but we're not going to ask a question. We're just going to feature answers like hot, nope, fire, warm, I need this, maybe next time, which we're using to establish interest and to qualify leads. Now, feel free to throw in a slider if you have room on this post, but don't make this post overly cluttered. So now that you have post number 2 taken care of, let's get into post number 3. So post number 3 is what I call the pre-ask hook and price introduction. This is a post asking what the viewer would be interested in paying for the song or instrumental. This post can be a still photo or even just a black background. Guys, don't overthink this one. Now, we'll be using a poll overlay to lead to a specific price point, such as 99 cents, $2.49, with the question, how much would you pay for this? Or pick your price. Now, obviously, if you're selling beats, the example would be more expensive, because usually beats don't go for 99 cents or $2.50. But for this example, I'm referencing a single on iTunes. Now, always offer the lower price option as your ideal asking price. This is a mental trigger, since most people are going to choose the lower price option. The higher proposed price mentally positions them with a perception that the lower cost would be a better value. Now, post number 4 is what I call the ask introduction. This is where the gates open to buy your music, but very passively. In this post, we're going to use a call to action to get your audience to the direct checkout area for your music. If you have a business account on Instagram with enough followers to have access to the swipe up feature, this works great as well. Now, we want to make this post exciting and eye-catching by using GIF overlays, bold, clean text, and clear instructions. You can use resources such as Canva, Photoshop, or even mobile apps such as WordSwag, which I highly recommend, to really up the level of design for this post. Just keep in mind that the best image size for Instagram story posts is 1080 by 1920. Now, if you don't have the swipe up function on your Instagram account yet, don't get discouraged, it's not a problem. Just post the link to buy your song or instrumental or album as your main Instagram profile bio link. This link takes your audience directly to the sales page. Then in the post, you'll want to reference link in my bio or something similar so they know exactly where to go. Make the sales process as easy as possible. Now, if you do have the swipe up feature, then I recommend using it here with a clear call to action to swipe up. And once you have that completed, you're done with post number 4. Now, here's where it gets really fun. Post number 5 is what I call the Humanized Mass Direct Ask. It'll make sense in a second. This post is specifically designed to thank your audience for the engagement and express excitement. It's super important to keep the energy high with this post. We want to utilize a verbal call to action in this one. Something like swipe up to check out the full beat song. Or if you don't have the swipe up feature, no problem. Just say, just tap on my profile circle in the corner and you'll find the direct link on my Instagram profile. You can also add text to this post as an overlay with the URL, but I suggest just driving them to your music through your main profile link or a swipe up. Now, you want to emphasize the low cost to buy and ask for support via purchase, but keep in mind that this is a soft ask. We don't want to pressure them. So real quick, I'm going to show you what kind of content I would create for a post number 5, and then we'll get into post number 6. All right, major news alert. Daisy and I have been in the studio all day. She's passed out. We've been making hits. New single, Swipe Up. So go to the link that's on the screen now to cop that new single. All right, so post number 6 is used as social proof. So what social proof is when people see others trusting you, your product, or your service. Think of it as passive word of mouth. This is why social influencers are so popular and in such high demand. For this example, it's going to show them that others are buying from you and enjoying your music. Now, if you're just getting started, you might not be able to use this step, but it's something that you definitely want to do in the future. Now, for post number 6, to really show social proof, what we want to do here is screenshot and repost when others post or comment on your release. This is a great way to thank your audience publicly for their support via shoutouts and including their username. This post is designed to keep what I call the hype curve stable and avoid abrupt fall off. So think of the hype curve as energy over time. You want that momentum, that excitement, that energy to last as long as possible and stay as high as possible. So now that you have post number 6 taken care of, we are ready for post number 7, which is the final step, but it's actually not a post at all. It's actually a personal follow-up. As the last step in the Instagram Stories funnel, we want to personally follow up via Instagram DM to every qualified user who voted on how much they would be willing to pay in post number 3. Instagram shows you a list of everyone who engaged in that post, and these individuals are what we like to call warm leads. Doing the follow-up is quick and easy. You just want to send a short introduction DM with a thank you, and then ask for the purchase and include a link. Now, just off the top of my head, here's an example. I would say something along the lines of, let's say I'm sending a DM to a guy named Greg. I'd say, hey Greg, I just wanted to start off by thanking you for checking out my song or my beat in the Instagram Stories yesterday. I noticed that you had responded to the poll and that you'd be willing to pay 99 cents for the song, so I actually decided to price it at that. Now, I'm not sure if you saw the link to go grab the single or beat, but if not, you can make great use of $1 and really help me out here, and then include the URL. Thanks again for the support, I really appreciate it. Adam. Now, obviously, those are my words, that's coming from me. If that doesn't sound like something that you would say, then don't use it. If it does, feel free to use that as a template. Now, a quick cheat code to this is by using video DM for an even more personal touch and higher conversion. Now, I know some people are shy, including myself at times, so if you prefer just the traditional text DM, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Hey, I got a puppy named Daisy. Now haters are calling me crazy. When I took her for a walk, she stopped walking cause she got lazy. She cuter than most other dogs, and she ain't afraid to show it. When it comes to being told she cute, it don't face her, she already know it. She Daisy. Hey, I got a puppy named Daisy. Now haters are calling me crazy. When I took her for a walk, she stopped walking cause she got lazy. She cuter than most other dogs, and she ain't afraid to show it. When it comes to being told she cute, it don't face her, she already know it. She Daisy the Daisy the doodle, ayy. One half of a golden, the other half poodle, ayy. She Daisy the doodle, ayy. She Daisy the doodle, ayy. One half of a golden, the other half poodle, ayy.
All right, major news alert. Daisy and I have been in the studio all day. She's passed out. We've been making hits. New single, Swipe Up. So go to the link that's on the screen now to cop that new single. Now, with the final step out of the way, you're ready to save all of those posts as Instagram profile highlights, which allow you to keep them forever if you want. Now, my Instagram Stories funnel is designed to be fun and engaging, but behind that, it's a crazy powerful marketing tool that you can make adjustments to and use for not only music, but for anything you're trying to promote. So in my Sell Music Masterclass, I'm going to teach you step by step how to mainstream your brand and increase your music-based revenue. I'll show you how to do music as a full-time career. You'll also learn how to dominate on YouTube and how to multiply your income with a few things that I promise you're not currently doing. Now I want to share a case study with you guys, something I think is going to inspire you and show you what's possible with purpose-based music marketing. So a buddy of mine and someone I respect the hell out of is Dylan Graham. You guys might know him as DG Beats. That's what he used to go by. He's the owner of Make Reel, Listen Reel, and Sample Plug. He's originally from Toronto, Canada, and he started making music, I think about 15 years ago. When he started making music, he actually started off at 11 or 12 playing in hardcore bands. Now, if I remember the story correctly, just about 10 years ago, he started producing hip hop and R&B and didn't actually start making a living off of his music until 3 or 3.5 years ago. Now, 6 months prior to that, being able to quit his full-time job to go pursue music as a career, he was living in St. Petersburg, Florida, about an hour away from here, working a canvassing job, which if you don't know what that's like, he was essentially knocking door to door in 95-degree weather, trying to get people to invest in solar, or as he put it, getting doors slammed in his face for a living. Now, he told me that it was pretty much the lowest point in his life. He ended up going completely broke, having all of his stuff shoved into his car and having to drive all the way back to his hometown, which was in Canada. That's a long drive. He had to move back into his mother's basement, which he was embarrassed about, ashamed about. He then spent the next 4 or 5 months studying email marketing, brand development, various advertising strategies, and making lots and lots of beats. Now, long story short, after a couple months of implementing what he had learned, what I call purpose-based music marketing, he went from making a max of $1,000 a month, which isn't a whole lot, to now averaging between $7,000 and $10,000, if not more, every single month. Now, this is just a preview of one of the case studies that's going to be included in my Sell Music Masterclass. Now, in my Sell Music Masterclass, I'm going to be sharing a total of 5 case studies with you. So in addition to all that how-to information, I'm also going to be giving you detailed examples of how music creators just like you and I are using purpose-driven music marketing to transform their lives. So in my next video, I'm going to be talking about and showing you exactly what's included in my Sell Music Masterclass. I'm also going to be talking about something that I like to call the music freedom formula. I'm going to show you how all the different pieces of the puzzle work together to develop a music-based business that will give you the freedom to create full-time. Also, make sure you mark this date in your calendar. So my Sell Music Masterclass is going to go live to the public on November 12th, which is a Monday. But one day before that, it'll launch to everyone that's on the early bird waiting list, so the 11th. Sunday night, I'm going to be sending out an early bird registration link to everybody, so make sure that your email is on the list to reserve your spot. Now, you can do that by clicking under this video, click that little link. All you got to do is click there and enter your email address. It's really easy. Like I said, I don't even need your name. Now, once you join the early bird waiting list, you're going to be the first to get access to the registration page before it launches to the public. Now, once the program launches, I know for a fact that after a couple days, it probably is going to be sold out. So make sure you get your name on the list. It's important. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse right now, but under this video, make sure that you get your name on the early bird waiting list, because that's going to be your best bet to get a spot in the program. So with that being said, guys, there's only one other thing that I'm going to ask of you. Now, if you're still with me in this video, I want you to leave a comment below and let me know what excited you the most, what interested you the most about the things that I talked about and taught in this video. I really hope you found value. I can't wait to share video number 3 with you. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video.